16th of March 2023. It is a historical day in the politics and the governance of the Republic of Uganda, where His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, General H.E Y.K Museveni, will address the Parliament of Uganda here at Kololo Independence Grounds this afternoon. House is meant to start at exactly 2 p.m. and as we speak, members of Parliament have started converging here. A good number of them, including the Vice President, a number of dignitaries. I've also seen one of the Deputy Prime Ministers, that is the Right Honourable General Moses Ali, being welcomed by so many colleagues from Parliament here on arrival to be part of this session. Article 101, Clause 2 of the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, yes, empowers the President of the Republic of Uganda as the Fountain of Honour to call a special meeting of Parliament on any matter of national importance. This is what we are going to witness today. We last witnessed something like this a number of times, but the most monumental one was when there were a lot of security questions after the death of the late ASP Muhammad Chirumira. There was such a sitting, and at this moment we can also see the arrival of the Right Honourable Prime Minister Robin Nabanja being welcomed by the Honourable Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Bariomunsi. Now, like I was saying, yeah, we last had a monumental address of the Parliament by the President after the death of ASP Muhammad Chirumira, when the President had to address Parliament with issues to do with security. So, in the expectations that we have today, the President will talk about the economy. The President will talk about the economy. Commodities are still a little high. Fuel is still high. Fuel prices are still high. Commodity prices are still high. We expect the President to talk about such issues. The President will talk about such issues: the economy, the dollar rate, what the farmers can do, and what the Ugandans should expect in as far as going of commodity prices is concerned. Security will be part of the President's expectations that we look at, that he may talk about. We have one of the MPs here to talk to us. Honourable, come a little closer. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Yes. Your name, sir?
I'm Dr. Kagabo Twaha.
Dr. Kagabo Twaha, we are so happy to see you live on UBC TV. Yeah. What is your expectation in the presidential address this afternoon?
Yeah, my expectations, of course, are many, but in particular, I will be more interested in the President responding, first of all, to the corruption that has taken a sailing level in the country. Okay. And despite us having organizations that are meant to curb this, it seems to be going on the high, on the high, on the high. Okay. So is it something that he's privy about or something? For instance, we recently handled a bill, a report on the agreements, several agreements that the government undertakes with either local or even international investors. But all the time we find that in these agreements, there is no position for a Ugandan benefiting from from these agreements. Yes. So we wonder, and yet the President, when we have seen bills, we've made bills, and the President's machinery is by no doubt the best as far as scrutinizing bills. And at no time has the President repulsed a bill and Parliament objected to put it right. So meaning that his machinery is the best as far as scrutinizing papers. Yes. But my question that daunts me is what happens when it comes to the agreements the country signs with these international investors or even the local investors, where we end up total loss completely for Ugandans. And actually, when you look at this agreement the country undertook with the Bujagad Electricity Limited and so on, a Ugandan totally lost money that had been already consolidated in the fund, and continued to put to a task to Ugandan to pay for high tariffs up to now. So that is one thing. Then two, of course, he has to respond to the arbitrary arrests that we've been talking about. I know this has been. So let him come up and give a better statement and a response to all that. The leader of opposition, the now new president, Robert Sentam Chagulanyi, and everybody in the country, the well-wisher, a patriotic person, has been crying for morning, evening about the arbitrary arrests, but they seem not to have a better response. There is a time I went on the floor of Parliament, and I even asked him, using his prerogative of mercy, because there are people who were arrested even during campaigns. Yes. Couldn't he use that prerogative of mercy to acquit most of these people? So some of those things are the ones that I feel like. Yeah, my expectations.
Okay, before I talk about corruption, as far as we had yesterday, we had a story that the opposition, especially the National Unity Platform, would not be here.
Yes. Yes.
How would we describe or look at you being here? Won't you be punished by the party?
Over what? This is an ordinary sitting. Nobody has a right to cajole me from sitting this is a parliamentary sitting, like any other. I'm sure if you are eloquent about the laws and the rules of procedure,
know,
nobody has that right.
Yes, but there is what you MPs call collective responsibilities under the parties.
That's a little bit, that aberrates a little bit from my rights as a honorable member of Bukoto South. And if anything, it will be treacherous to my people in Bukoto South, because Bukoto South is not an isolate for opposition. There are so many ingredients. There are a lot of people that I represent. But if anything, again, myself also, I feel I get more a conviction to be here in Parliament because it is a sitting. And
let me ask you, Honorable Kagabo, it is a number of times, not only in this particular Parliament, the 11th Parliament, but a number of times, even earlier on during the Right Honorable Kadaga's days, the opposition would boycott such sittings. We are not going for this, we are not going for this. Is this a collective responsibility? Do they agree on it, or these are just decisions of individuals? And in focus on what happened, that your party said they will not be here, but at least you are here. Did you agree on it?
Usually people caucus on issues, especially when the party, as a party, the people caucus. As an opposition, they caucus. But there is always a minority. You've heard of majority and a minority. So my presence here is a minority for me.
What will happen if they caution you within the party structure?
Who cautions me?
Your leaders in the party?
Nobody has the right to do that. Nobody. Otherwise, it would be infringing on my rights. Personally, as a person, Dr. Kagabo Twaha, and then two, as my people in the Bukoto South, because there is only one Kagabo Twaha in the Parliament, and there's only one MP of Bukoto South as we talk now, and it is me.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. How did you handle and conclude the issue? Because you were once looked at as somebody in a corrupt scandal when you had money. The people had even branded you the MP with money.
Yes.
When you were running around with sacks of money, how did you handle? And when you talk about corruption, how clean are you yourself? How did you end the issue? How clean are you?
Of course, by standards and statistics, I'm the cleanest person, because whereas in history, nobody has ever returned money into the consolidated funds, and it is only Kagabo Twaha. I have the receipts with me.
Is it about returning? How did you receive it?
Of course. When we go into these things, we have to learn and unlearn things. That was a privilege for me to learn and unlearn certain things. But wherever it ended, the money was taken back into the consolidated fund. Okay? Of course, you have to hail people who are a little bit remorseful when they happen something. Even in courts of law, when somebody seems to be remorseful, the punishment may not be as hefty as that one, a person who has been obstinate.
Honorable, in a low tone, how did you get this money?
No, I think that is something that has been overtaken by events. We cannot actually bring that at this forum. Right now, what we are looking at is we don't want to open all the wounds. All right? That's something that has gone for some time. It's worth it that Ugandans now listen for.
At least they know that you took it back.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about people who look at you yourself as somebody who has been in a corruption scandal? Because the moment it involved, in Uganda, when any incident involves money, people think it's corruption, and some people look at you like that. What do you think about them, and how would you defend yourself?
Of course, in the politics we are in, and the politics that I was welcomed in such a funny way, people making me step on the landmine, I did so. Like I've told you, there are a lot of things that we learn. People will call everything whatever they feel like. But I think Ugandans will look at me as somebody who is a hero, who tried to labor to liberate the country as far as corruption is concerned.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable.
You're welcome.
Mr. Twaha Kagabo.
Yes, please.
That is Bukoto South?
Bukoto South.
Yes, that is the Honorable Twaha Kagabo from Bukoto South. And we talked about he expects the president to concentrate on issues to do with corruption because according to him, it is so rampant in the country. We now have another opportunity to talk to the State Minister, Honorable here, to talk to the Honorable Minister, State for Finance, Honorable Musasizi. Sir, we are so happy to have you. You are live on UBC TV, and we are going to talk to you briefly. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, we expect the president anytime now. First of all, what is your expectation now as an MP in the president's speech?
The president is going to address Parliament in fulfillment of his constitutional mandate.
Yes.
And the talk is basically broad. He has a liberty to speak about every matter of national importance. But core to that, normally the aspects about the performance of the economy always come up. For instance, we have registered positive indicators about economic growth. Like in the last 3 months, we have seen figures rising. The economy has grown at the rate of 7.5%. We have seen inflation going down to 9.4% now. And many other indicators. We have seen the revenue side continuing to perform better, and also the productive sectors of the economy which bring wealth, the wealth programs. We expect the president to emphasize the need to bring all Ugandans into the money economy aspects by improving the household income. So all these aspects we expect the president to touch on.
In the last 3 months, the figures have gone up,
Yes.
meaning it was not in the good line. What had gone wrong, Honorable, as you, somebody in the Ministry of Finance that one would say runs the economy, what had gone wrong to at least see that it is 3 months when everything is trying to wake up?
Like any other global economy, when COVID came and the Russia-Ukraine crisis, the economies fell. They experienced challenges. And after post-COVID and other things, we have been emphasizing the aspects which can rebound this economy. You saw the prices of basic commodities rising. You saw scarcity in some of some products as a result of closure of some supply chains. So all these aspects have been affecting us. You saw imported inflation largely also affecting us. So these are the things we have been struggling with. And the good news we have is that we have now started seeing our economy beginning to post positive indicators.
Honorable,
So
technically,
these are the things the country expects to know.
Honorable, I want us to take technical information to the common person watching us. Why do we get hit hard after COVID? Like 3 years ago, we still feel the impact, like you have said, by the Ukraine, Russia war up to now, even when other countries have already managed how to get up, we are still, because when you talk of 7%, that means slowly, a slow growth of the economy, 7%. Other people are already experiencing more than 20. So why are we hit hard by what one would call far-fetched problems on the economy?
No, in the financial year 2020-21, when the COVID started, our growth slowed down to less than 3%. And in our planning frameworks, we have been projecting an economic growth rate of 5.3%. But now, here we are seeing positive indicators 7.5%. Meaning that if we could keep this trend continues, we are likely to see our economy growing in double digits in the near future. And why? Is because of the emphasis on the productive sectors of the economy. So, and we expect the president to inform the country about these aspects which can sustain the economic growth which we are beginning to see.
As the Ministry of Finance, what measures have you taken to reawaken the economy, and what are you continuously still doing to ensure that we get stable as a country?
We have continued to emphasize investment in the key productive sectors of the economy: agriculture, manufacturing, services, and ICT. That is where much of our spending goes. We have continued to provide cheap capital, the wealth creation funds, the parish development model, H.E.Y.K, and the funding under the UDB. These funds provide possibilities of our people accessing cheap credit. We have also emphasized investment in infrastructure, electricity, and many other things which facilitate this growth we are talking about. So as Ministry of Finance, this is basically what we have been involved in, and we think we are on the right course to bring this economy back to the pre-pandemic levels.
The fuel is still stagnating at around 5,000, 5,100 there. What is still the problem? What is still holding fuel prices and other commodities up to now?
No, the prices of fuel
are stagnating at 5,000 a litre.
Not determined by us. It is largely determined at the international market levels. It is not only in this country where fuel prices have gone up. But I remember not long ago, the fuel prices were going 6,500. Now, if it is stagnating at 5,200, I think it will even go further down to maybe 4,500 or so. So it shouldn't be a big issue. The issue, and where we are proud of as Ministry of Finance and the government, is that when this fuel crisis happened, some people were saying reduce taxes,
yes,
cut taxes,
yes,
do these things. We became firm and said no, these prices are not going up because of the taxes. And now, here we are. We didn't reduce the taxes, but the prices have been going down.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable. His name is the Honorable Museveni. He is the Member of Parliament. He's a Member of Parliament and also State Minister for Finance. According to some signals, the Right Honorable Speaker is already here, and anytime I think the President will be here. Honorable, please, just come forward. I'm going to talk to another MP in just a minute as we expect His Excellency the President. Honorable, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Yes, just your name to the Ugandan watching you live on UBC.
My name is Chemtai Evelyn. I represent the people of Bukwa district, Sabay sub-region.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is Bukwa?
Oh, Bukwa is okay. Yeah, we are fine.
When you say okay, what exactly do you think about and say we are okay?
I'm talking in terms of the well-being, and of course there are those small challenges that we're going through as Ugandans. Okay. But of course in terms of health, when we are alive, we say we are fine. Yeah?
So what is your expectation in as far as the presidential address? I want you to face the camera. That's why I'm trying to. Yes. Just look at me, but there the camera will get your face. So, in as far as the people of Bukwa are concerned, what is your expectation as their MP in the presidential address this afternoon?
We are expecting the president to give more highlight on the performance of the PDM, parish development model. We're also we expect him to speak more about the corruption that is going on, the scandals. You've heard of the iron sheets that were taken, I mean, do I say misplaced? or taken to different...
I don't know, you are in a better place to tell.
Anyway,
What
I
exactly
was trying to look for a very kind word. They were taken to places that were not supposed to have been taken to,
Yes.
given to persons who are not beneficiaries. The beneficiaries of the iron sheets were the Karachunas of Karamoja. And of course the goats also that were taken to Karamoja, I think they were not distributed well as per the expectations. And so I also expect the president to speak about the economy. Generally, the economy is doing not so well, and I know he's going to address the nation on ways on how we can work on our economy. And of course, it's coming to planting season, and the common wananchi, the rains are out now. They expect the president to speak, to talk to the nation how we shall have money for seeds. Planting season is here, how we shall plow our land. That's what affects the common man.
Okay.
Yeah?
You see, the economy, actually, I've heard you're the third MP saying you should talk about the economy. What are the levels, with the levels of poverty in, did you say?
Boko?
In Buko, yes.
Yes.
I was going to say Sebe in general,
Yeah.
but let's concentrate on Buko.
Yeah.
What do you think government has to really do to touch the poor person in Boko? I'm not saying it is the only place with poor people, but I'm talking to their MP.
Actually, in the whole sub-region,
Yes.
there are a number of things that government has to do. First of all, we appreciate that they've given us money for parish development model. That is what the government intends to touch the common man.
Yes.
But how do the common man benefit from parish development model? Of course, we already have factors that we believe are going to hinder the parish development model, depending on the enterprise that one has chosen. For example, if the community or the common man has chosen to go into cultivation or agriculture, and there is no water, say this rain stop, definitely the money that has been taken to the farm will dry, and they'll definitely lose the money for parish development model. Number two, we also have enterprise of animals like cows, like goats. Like from the district I come from, we still have raids, castle rustling. So if the government does not handle the issue of insecurity, when I get the money from parish model, buy a goat or a cow,
Somebody
and
will steal it.
it's stolen, then how will I account for that money? So among other factors, those are the key things that government has to see and sort it out before the common mwananchi picks the money for parish development model to increase their income and make our economy better.
I have an opportunity to ask you about some things that are talked about the region and Buko in particular. There is too much talk about early pregnancies among the girl child in the area. As the leaders in the area, what are you doing before anybody else comes in? Recently, I talked to one of the bishops and he's up in arms with other programs. What are you people doing?
Actually, it's very true. The rate of early pregnancies and child marriage is still very high. And one of the factors is poverty. When children go to school, they're engaged and they don't think in terms of getting married. But when they can't go to school, they can't afford the basics that are needed at school, definitely the only option is to get married. And so we are doing a lot of sensitization and trying to keep the girl child at school so that they can become the leaders.
So it's about fighting poverty and keep the girls in school.
Yeah, fighting poverty, then keep the girl at school.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I wish you the best of the afternoon.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
She is a member of parliament from Buko district, and also she is here. She expects the president mainly to talk about issues to do with the economy and poverty. She says the levels in her constituency are very high and a lot has to be done down there to see that people's livelihoods are touched. We're now going to talk to the minister in charge of all of us that hold cameras and microphones and computers in this country, and that's the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, the Honorable Dr. Chris Bariomunsi. Honorable, you're most welcome to the temporary studio here.
Thank you very much, Jordan, and I'm happy to be here this afternoon.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes.
You are the best person to tell us.
Yes.
You can even sneak peek into, maybe you could have seen the president's speech. What should the Ugandan watching you? This side, face him this side.
Yes.
What should they expect this afternoon, the president's address?
I cannot preempt what the president is going to raise because it is,
Let's face this side, this cameraman should see us.
it is private to him. I don't know. I cannot claim that I know his speech. But the Constitution provides that the president, from time to time, can come and address Parliament. There are some statutory times which are prescribed, like when he gives the State of the Nation address, when a new session is beginning, or even a reading of the budget, but he can also, in the consultation with the Speaker of Parliament, agree on a date when he can address Parliament on any matter.
Okay.
It's usually him who initiates.
That is Article 101.
Yes.
Clause 2.
So it's usually the President who initiates what he wants to address Parliament about. And he does not share it with us.
So you as Parliament, you only wait for him and
We
listen.
wait for him. And also the rules provide that when he is addressing us, we shall listen to him in silence, and there will be no opportunity of discussing with him what he has raised. However, the Speaker can make arrangements later after to have a session of Parliament where we can, the opposition responds and then we debate, but in the absence of the President. And of course the feedback gets to him because the parliamentary system in such a way that we have leader of government business and the government side which eventually reach out to the President, and that's how it works.
Okay.
So for today, he will come and raise whichever issues, but probably you can rephrase the question, what are the issues which he should raise? Or what
And
are
we
we
can
expecting? Yes,
suspect from
absolutely.
Honorable, I'll take you to national guidance mainly.
Yes.
We are having a house here, but the opposition is absent. We may not have them because anytime now the President is arriving and they are not here. What does that mean to you as Parliament? I'm now talking to you as an MP. What does that mean to you as Parliament, and what should the Ugandan take from that?
Our voters elect us as individuals to come to Parliament, although we are on a political party basis or independence, but basically I'm here to represent the people of Chinchiz East in Kanungu. I can choose to sleep the whole week and I don't go to Parliament, or I be active in Parliament. So the decision, first of all, is individual, whether you want to represent your people in the Parliament or not. But if they have agreed as a group to boycott, first of all, our rules don't command someone to come to Parliament by force. You have seen Parliament, we are never full. For various reasons, members of Parliament are busy with many other things. So their absence does not in any way stop Parliament from proceeding. So with or without them, we shall proceed. Secondly, I don't know the points they are raising, why they are not coming, but I think they are just merely politicking. They just want to make news.
As a journalist, let me tell you a few. And now, actually, before I even go into them, this is not the first time the opposition boycotts the President in Parliament. Yes, it is now known information. A number of times they have, in protest, mainly they say they have members who are incarcerated, who are in prisons. Others are still in prison. They say they have not been listened to. They want some reforms. They have mentioned a number of things. Why don't they be listened? Can they be listened to for the good of Parliament and the country and the nation?
Where have they wanted to present their issues and somebody has refused to listen to them? Because we have a leader, we have a leader of opposition in the Parliament.
Yes.
Very active and actually very energetic, the Honorable Mpuga. He's always articulating their issues. When we present the ministerial policy statements, our rules provide for them to give alternative policies, which they do, and we debate and so forth. We have iPod, where all the political parties which are represented in the Parliament, they meet. The secretaries general of the parties, the presidents meet there. Now, we have very many fora. So where have they been denied the chance to speak?
Let me tell you,
Yes, hear me. Where they say there is this forum where the opposition in Uganda has been refused to speak. Where?
Good. They had a press conference yesterday as the opposition, especially the National Unity Platform. And they said they have presented at the floor of Parliament to the Prime Minister lists of their people missing. But everybody just pretends as if they know nothing. Some people have been in prisons since 2021. And they have not been taken to court, they have not been listened to, and things like that.
Very good. First of all, those who are in prison are there as individuals, because police arrests you on the basis of the crimes you have committed as an individual, not as a political party. There may be weaknesses in our court system where there is backlog and a few judges, but they will be handled through that one. Now on the issue of abductions, you see, the opposition I don't know even whether we have opposition. We just have, let me not be harsh. The leader of opposition presented the names of those he said they have been abducted. The executive side, led by the Right Honourable Prime Minister, undertook to study this petition and respond back through Parliament. The Right Honourable Deputy Speaker put an arrangement where the government side engaged with the opposition and the intelligence security. I was part of that government team. And we processed it, we went through it, we had discussions, I don't have to go into details. We prepared a report. The day when the Right Honourable Prime Minister was ready to present, and we had agreed in our meeting that on this day, let the Prime Minister give a report to the country through Parliament. It is the opposition which said they are not ready to receive and listen to the Prime Minister. So I think we should take this politics seriously. Maybe we are in politics for different reasons. Because for us as government and I as an individual, I think a person going missing is a very serious issue. Because tomorrow it can be you, it can be me, it can be my child. So for them, when they said these people are missing, we took it seriously. We called the police, we called the ISO, we called the CMI, we called all these intelligence services. We sat, say we must look for these people. And indeed, in the Prime Minister's report, government was able to track some of the people. You see why they are calling abductions? Many of them are the arrests that police makes. You see, you are not going to get any country where criminals or people suspected of committing a crime are not being arrested. But if the opposition wants to claim that every criminal in this country belongs to them, that is their business. Do you know why, for instance, they feared the report in Parliament? When we got a report from intelligence, some of the people they were saying are abducted comrades, that's the word they used, are the people who are part of a rebel group who have been
suspected or confirmed.
Just hold on. There are people who have been killing police officers. Ugandans out there know. In the last few months, there was a group which was attacking police posts, especially in Uganda here, and killing police officers. Police officers are also human beings. They have family, they have children. They were killed and buried and left orphans. So some of the people who appeared on the list are those who were killing police officers. And I put it...
Suspected or confirmed?
Suspected. But there is evidence. Police has evidence. And some of them have appeared in the court, they have been charged.
But they are telling me that we wind up. You see, where the problem comes in.
From this point, I put it to Honorable Mpuga in one of our meetings, that do you want to own these people whom we are calling comrades, who have been killing Ugandan police officers? Because police officers are also Ugandans. I don't remember the answer, it was not there. I suspect that's one of the reasons why they ran away from the report. Let them challenge the speaker to bring, to schedule us on Sunday. Today is Thursday or even tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a special cabinet. Saturday or Sunday, and we debate this report. Because we are concerned, if somebody goes missing, it's a serious issue. Whether you are opposition or NRM, Ugandans must be protected wherever. But they are just using it for politicking to portray to the country and the world that people are being abducted, and therefore NRM government is bad, which is not correct. We can answer every issue the opposition is raising today in Uganda.
Okay, Honorable.
So the issue that they are not
These guys,
is
these
out.
people are arrested and released without any sentence, without any what, without anything that confirms on many cases. There are so many precedents of people that get arrested with such suspicion,
Yes, the law,
and they are arrested.
The law allows police to even arrest you in a preventive manner. If police thinks in the next 30 minutes you might commit a crime, police is allowed to arrest you to prevent it. That one can, but also they can arrest you and find the evidence maybe is weak and give you bond, and that's what happens. So if somebody has been arrested and released, you should be happy. At least nobody is arrested and killed.
Honorable, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes. And so there is no reason whatsoever for the opposition to boycott Parliament, because they were elected to be in the Parliament, and they are merely politicking, but this is just being charlatans.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
And listen, the President Museveni, like him or not, is the President of Uganda. He's the one who elected. So as a member of Parliament, the Constitution commands you to listen to him. But I know they will be listening from TV and watching from TV, from Zoom. So it is just mere katemba of politics.
Thank you so much.
Which some of us don't want to be part of.
Okay. His name is the Honorable Chris Bariomunsi. Doctor, he is the Minister. He's an MP for Kinkizi West in Parliament, and also the Minister for ICT, that is Information, Communication and Technologies, and National Guidance. At this very moment, the Speaker of Parliament is moving towards the main tent where she will take her official seat. She's welcoming the Vice President, Honorable Jessica Alupo, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Robin Nabanja, and she has now taken to the tent where she is meant to sit. The laws of Uganda allows the Speaker of Parliament to convene Parliament in any place that she deems convenient for the sitting, and that place, according to the law, will be Parliament. And at this very point, we now witness the arrival of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, General H.E.Y.K Museveni, and the Speaker of Parliament has moved to go and welcome him. That is his convoy, making it to Kololo Independence Grounds. Yes. The main expectations, like I was listing, will be the economy, commodity prices, especially issues to do with the agricultural sector. It connects with the economy, definitely security-related issues. There will also be a lot to be discussed in the President's address. There must be something to do with corruption, it being a moment with issues to do with the NSSF scandals being investigated by Parliament COSASE, especially. That is the Committee on Government Statutory Bodies. That is COSASE, a committee in Parliament. There is that issue. Then the iron sheets, like a number of MPs have mentioned here, it's going to be definitely part of what the President may talk about. His Excellency makes it to where he's arranged to sit, and he's flanked by Mrs. Janet Museveni, the First Lady, and also that is Minister for Education and Sports. You are watching UBC TV, and we are coming to you live from Kololo Independence Grounds, where a parliamentary sitting is going to be held, and it will also have a presidential address to the Parliament of Uganda. The President has arrived. We shall get the anthems and taking to where she is supposed to sit to preside over Parliament, and it is in that session that they will also receive the presidential address. We thank you so much for watching. Gwatulaba ku UBC TV tukutukako buterevu okuvano ku kisaawe ky'eggwanga eky'emikolo e Kololo. President w'eggwanga Yoweri Museveni gyagenda okwogererako eri Parliament. Ensonga ezisuubirwa nnyingi omuli ebyenfuna by'eggwanga, enguzi, ebyobukuumi n'ebintu ebirala bingi nnyo. President amaze okutuuka ne Speaker waali, Vice President waali, ba MP bangi naye opposition teriiwo. Kale katugende mu maaso webale kutwegattako.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity. We beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, so as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen. Amen.
Proclamation by the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament.
Statutory Instrument 2023, number 2025, proclamation by the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament on the Presidential Address on matters of national importance. Whereas under Article 1012 of the Constitution of Republic of Uganda, His Excellency the President of Republic of Uganda may, in consultation with the Speaker of Parliament, address the Parliament from time to time on any matter of national importance. Aware that His Excellency the President of Republic of Uganda has, in accordance with Article 1012, indicated to the Speaker of Parliament his intention to address Parliament on matters of national importance on Thursday, 16th March 2022. Now, therefore, in accordance with the Rule 17.1 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, I hereby proclaim that Parliament shall sit at Kololo Ceremonial Ground on Thursday, 16th March 2023 at 14 hours to receive the address of His Excellency the President on the matters of national importance, and the Kololo ceremonial grounds to be the precincts of Parliament for the above-mentioned purpose, given under my hand at Parliament House, Kampala, this 16th day of March 2023, Anita Annette Among, Speaker of Parliament.
Item number 4, communication from the Chair.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General H.E Y.K Museveni, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Museveni, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, the Honourable Leader of Opposition, the Honourable Ministers, the Honourable Members of Parliament, I welcome you to this special sitting of the House, in which we are privileged to host His Excellency the President and receive his address. Article 1012 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda stipulates that the President may, in consultation with the Speaker, address Parliament from time to time on matters of national importance. His Excellency the President consulted me, and we agreed that he addresses the House on various matters of national importance. As such, today we are honored to welcome Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, to Parliament of Uganda. You're most welcome. However, Mr. President, before I welcome you to address the members of Parliament, and by extension, the nation, permit me to bring to your attention some few matters. Your Excellency, since the last address of this House, during the State of Nation address and official opening of the second session of the 11th Parliament, That was on 7th June 2022. We have had 76 sittings of the House. During these sittings, we have passed 24 bills, administered 7 oaths, passed 31 resolutions, adopted 42 committee reports, and concluded 2 petitions. In terms of legislation, the 24 bills passed so far in the second session exceed the 23 passed in the first session. Yet we still have 3 months to end of the session, meaning this session is going to be one of our best sessions. Your Excellency, in the same breath, we've passed the following bills and we await for your assent as per Article 91(3) of the Constitution. The Exercise Duty Amendment Bill, the Human Organ Donation Transplant Bill, the Museum and Monuments Bill, the National Sports Bill, the Markets Bill, the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Amendment Bill. Your Excellency, in the exercise of our representative role as enshrined under Article 78 of the Constitution, members of Parliament continue to diligently execute their duties in the various parliamentary committees, the House, and the various parliamentary and interparliamentary fora. I am confident that in the 11th Parliament, we are going to do a better job. In furtherance to oversight mandate, the House adjourned for 3 weeks. That was from 2nd February to enable members to go and monitor government programs, including parish development model. The members verified the status of disbursement of funds to local governments, existence and status of beneficiary groups, and utilization of disbursed funds. Your Excellency, we are in receipt of reports from members who went to the field for oversight role, and will debate those findings and forward it to executive for further action. Your Excellency, on behalf of Parliament, I would like to express my gratitude to you for your unwavering support during the budgeting process. With your consistent support, we believe Parliament will be adequately facilitated to execute our mandate of legislation, representation, oversight, and most importantly, appropriation to the expectation of all the Ugandans. Your Excellency, Section 8 and Section 13(3) of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 as amended requires the submission of tax and revenue bills and the draft annual budget to be presented to the House by 1st of April. Aware that you are the Chief Finance Minister, it is our plea that you cause the executive to ensure that we have the tax bills and the draft annual budget to respond to the prevailing socio-economic realities of the masses, notably in job creation, skilling, innovation, industrialization, infrastructure growth, environmental conservation, digital advancement, and gender parity. As a presiding officer, we expect further improvement in the performance of Parliament and its committees. And to achieve this, we will work together with the executive to ensure that we achieve what is expected of us. And we are steadfast in commitment to ensure that there is more public consultation by committees in execution of their duties, evaluation of evidence in both committees and House, that is evidence-based legislation, regular reporting by committees on their undertakings, regular attendance and participation of committees and the House by both members of Parliament and the ministers, continued familiarization with the rules of procedure and legislative tools. Your Excellency, your address coincides with the impending commemoration of the first anniversary of the demise of my predecessor, that is Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah Lokori. The House will pay tribute to the enduring legacy on Thursday, 23rd March 2023. Your Excellency, still on a rather tragic note, we lost a member of Parliament, that is Honorable Patrick Okabe, MP of Serere, who passed on 21st December 2022, and he died of a fatal accident. May we rise up for a moment of silence in honor of our departed colleague.
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Your Excellency and honorable members, in pursuit of interparliamentary relations and diplomacy, the Parliament of Uganda will host a plenary session of the Pan-African Parliament from 11th to 21st October 2023, and the Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference from 3rd to 6th January 2024. As it has been the tradition, when Uganda hosts such a high-profile international event, we will project a positive image of the Pearl of Africa and hasten the opportunities that come with such conferences. Your Excellency, following your guidance on concerns on the threats of homosexuality, what they pose to our children and society, the 11th Parliament has embarked on strengthening the legal regime to erect the moral firewall to protect and conserve our cherished cultural values as people. The House awaits the second reading of the anti-sexual bill, which is currently before the Committee of Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. The 11th Parliament is cognizant of the importance of maintaining our moral values as a foundation of order, sustainable growth, and development. Your Excellency, we thank you for your unequivocal support to the 11th Parliament in execution of its mandate. Now, honorable members, I would like to remind you of Rule 10, Sub-Rule 4A of our Rules of Procedure that state that the President, while occupying the chair of the state, may take a presidential statement which shall be heard in silence and not followed by any comment or question. I therefore implore you to abide to this rule so that we all benefit from the message that His Excellency is going to pass on to us and to the country at large. Once more, I want to welcome you. And in the public gallery this afternoon, we have the Right Honorable Dr. Richard Trodong Awany, Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, and Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, a Senior Presidential Advisor. They've come to observe the proceedings. You're most welcome.
Item number 5, invitation by the Right Honourable Speaker to His Excellency the President to deliver to Parliament in accordance with Rule 1012 an address.
In accordance with the Article 102 not rule, Your Excellency, as I stated earlier on, your role here today is in fulfillment of the constitutional mandate pursuant to Article 1012 of the Constitution. I now take the singular honor to invite you to address the House and the nation at large.
Excellency, Her Excellency the Vice President, the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, His Lordship the Chief Justice, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Moses Chigongo, if he's here, the Right Honourable Secretary General of the NRM, other state and party leaders, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all and congratulate you on account of going through the following calamities in the last 3 years, because we have been through so many calamities. The calamities were the following: the locusts. Do you remember the locusts? The landslides, the floating islands, the rising waters of the lake, the corona pandemic, the Bijambias. You remember Bijambias. The problem of the high commodity prices caused by the Russian-Ukrainian war, the Ebola epidemic, the suicide bombers, etc., etc. The NRM assured you that with God's help, we would go through these calamities, and we did. Indeed, our economy, by end of this financial year, will grow by 5.3% to attain the GDP size of $49.3 billion by the exchange rate method and of $142.9 billion by the PPP method. However, I want this economy to grow by a factor of 10 to $500 billion in the next few years. And if you aggressively support my policy measures we shall achieve it. How? I will tell you in the course of this speech. However, let me first tell you again that I congratulate Ugandans on account of going through the calamities enumerated above. I told you we would, and we did, all inconveniences and losses notwithstanding. It is in such circumstances that our Baganda people and Banyankore say, akutwala ekiro omusimo obukedde, wakutwala nyekiro omusimo bwashesha. The one who successfully guides you on a journey in the night, you thank him in the morning. Jesus had harsher words for his disciples. In the book of Mark, chapter 16, verse 14, he rebuked them for panicking in the storm when they were crossing the lake by saying, in quotes, "You people of little faith." He did that because those same disciples had seen the miracles Jesus had performed, and yet they panicked in the storm when Jesus was with them, although asleep in the boat. Although I do not want to compare the NRM with Jesus, there is no doubt that the NRM has, over the last 60 years, solved quite a number of historical problems. It is therefore fallacious for some elements to panic when we face any challenges. There are solutions to those challenges as long as we are patriotic, genuine, and not parasitic. However, before I go into the purpose of today's meeting, through the Speaker, I would like us to stand up for a minute of silence to remember the 3,632 people that were killed by corona, the 55 that were killed by Ebola, those that died in the landslides, and recently 4 students of Kasaka SS in Gomba that were killed by a lorry that lost control, according to what the Prime Minister told me. So, Madam Speaker, if you don't mind, we could stand up to remember these people. I'm sure the Speaker has allowed me.
You are allowed, Your Excellency.
Thank you. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Thank you so much. I am now directing the State House Controller to send 5 million shillings to each of the families of the 4 students that died in that accident. I'm also directing the State House Controller to give 1 million shillings each to the 14 students that are injured and are in Gombe Hospital. The Prime Minister and the Attorney General should get in touch with the families of the dead children and the injured to ensure that the truck owners compensate the victims and their families according to the law. Because they may not know, they may just know that they are entitled to compensation. Our meeting today follows a telephone conversation I had with the Right Honourable Speaker over the phone on the issue of the Parish Development Model, PDM. As a consequence of that, I decided to again interact with you, the honourable members, on these issues. To properly contextualize the issue of PDM, I must remind the honourable members of the principles of the national resistance movement, which are patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. PDM comes directly under principle number 3, socio-economic transformation, although it cannot thrive without the other 3, patriotism, Pan-Africanism, and democracy. I have pointed out before in many writings that society is like some of the insect species that go through a biological process known as metamorphosis, which has got a number of stages that start with an egg, caterpillar, pupa, and a mature butterfly, for instance. In the last 4.5 million years of human evolution, ever since man gained the Homo sapiens sapien form, the society he created has been metamorphosing. Karl Marx, by 1848, when he wrote the Communist Manifesto, pointed out that up to that point, society had gone through 5 social systems. These were the primitive communalism system, the slave state, feudalism, capitalism, and were then, that time of Karl Marx, entering the system of socialism and communism. Although some greedy and narrow-minded groups in the world completely dismissed this analysis, and indeed the communists made their own philosophical and strategy mistakes, there is no doubt that the method of class analysis of society is correct, and so is the phenomenon of social transformation. If those who claim to study social sciences in Africa were serious, they would have noticed the societies in Europe by the time of the Renaissance, 1400 AD, were 3 classes in societies, comprised of the feudalists, the peasants, and the artisans. By the time of the French Revolution, 1789, the European society had evolved into a 4-class society, being the feudalists, the aristocrats, the middle class, the bourgeoisie, as they were called, the proletariat, the working class, and the peasants. If you go to Europe today and you look for peasants and for feudalists, you will not get them. The society appears to have become a two-class society comprised of the middle class and the skilled working class. Each of these historical social classes has got different productive capacity, high or low. What was the productive capacity of the primitive communalist societies? What was the productive capacity of the serfs, who are called abasenze in our language here, abebanja, on the land of the feudal landlords, abamairo, before 1928? What is the productive capacity of the bourgeoisie that are conscious of the difference between the input cost and the final price of a product that we call profit? What is the productive capacity of the proletariat, e.g. the industrial working class, that is skilled and working for wages? On account of some of the reasons that we do not have time to go into here, this social evolution, this social metamorphosis was faster in Europe than in Africa, Asia, or in the Americas. It is this lagging behind in social evolution that caused so much damage and problems to Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Indeed, by 1862, when Huntington Speke came to Uganda, our societies were three-class societies, comprised of the feudalists, abalangira, princes, and warlords as class number one. Number two, peasants, abakopi or commoners, and three, the artisans. By 1962, when Uganda got independence, the feudal class were not there any longer, or were much weakened by the colonial system, and the artisan class had either been eliminated or was greatly weakened. We don't have time to go into the details of all this, but I really suggest that you study these issues. It was only the peasantry that were still alive, but largely not involved in the new economy of money. By the census of 1969, as many as 96% of the homesteads were outside the money economy. Abakorera ekida kyonka, teach, may each keken, working only for the stomach. It is at this point that we came on the scene in the 1960s. Comparing with our school studies of what had happened in Europe and North America, we started wondering why there was no similar socio-economic transformation in Africa, starting with Uganda. We soon found out through analysis that indeed Uganda's society can change, and can change through two routes. These are universal free education for all Ugandan children and all families joining the money economy. I'm glad the women came to Chiruhura district, and I was again able to show them how the pastoralists in that whole huge area of Isingiro, Kashari, Chiruhura, Kazo, Liantonde, parts of Rakai, Sembabure, Gomba, Chejegwa, parts of Mubende, what we call Kiyonga, Kibogara, like Dwaniro, Chenkwanzi, Ngoma Wachato, Bururi na Kasongora, Masindi etc. had partially underwent social economic transformation by stopping nomadism, adopting dairy farming for cash, and sending children to school at their cost. I want to discuss that partial success with the NRM caucus so that we harmonize our thinking. I want to call a special meeting of the NRM caucus, and we really discuss this, because I don't want to continue talking as if I'm begging people to come and cultivate my garden when I am telling Ugandan leaders to see how to rescue their people from poverty. It's not correct that we should go like this, as if I am begging people to do something for me, when we need to do this for our people. I call the success in the cattle corridor partial, because elements in the society still have irrational practices carried on from tradition that negate progress, what we call reactionary, reacting negatively vis-à-vis positive progress. These are the practices of fragmenting land on inheritance and depending on only nature to provide the pasture, yet it is more reliable if we grow the pasture. Once I had that partial success, by 1995, I went to the whole country and gave all and sundry the message of transformation. However, like the Jews, many people are either not bothered or are waiting for another Messiah, even when the message is clear and verifiable. Verifiable how? Visit the cattle corridor that used to be wilderness, Engando, country like H.E.Y.K, which is now an area of some modern farms producing millions of liters of milk per day for the local markets and for export. The exports have hit US $106 million per year. Algeria is now going to also buy our powdered milk worth US $150 million. If this area could transform, so could the others. In the manifesto of 1996, we put forward the 4 acres model of coffee, fruits, pasture for zero grazing dairy, food for production, food crop production, and pig and poultry in the backyard, and fish farming near the wetlands. This was the medicine for the smallholders. Those with bigger pieces of land were more flexible and could help the country grow and participate in producing products that needed large-scale production to make economic sense that the country needed, such as cotton, maize, sugarcane, ranching for beef, etc., etc. In terms of funding, the latter group would be supported by Uganda Development Bank. It is the 4 acres model group that I decided needed grants or soft loans direct from government. We started with the Ntandikwa, PMA, Plan for Modernization of Agriculture. These were all money put aside for this purpose. NADS, Operation Wealth Creation, and now PDM. These efforts were for agriculture. With the non-agricultural or broad spectrum activities, we have put in place the following: the Women Fund, the Youth Fund, microfinance, and now recently, Emyoga. With all the pre-PDM funds, the modes were that government officials were the ones selecting the beneficiaries. Especially with operational wealth creation, it initially worked well. Indeed, the households in the non-money sector declined from 68% to 39%. This was most commendable. However, I started picking up complaints from the public of Begabera Boka. They only give to themselves. Balete Bifu, they supply us bad quality materials. Baleta Biabusere, they bring overpriced items. That is when I decided that the UPDF must get out of this effort, because the image of the wider force was going to be ruined by the mistakes of these fellows who were in Operation Wealth Creation, who had lost their straightforwardness. Moreover, it is the ultimate aim of the NRM that the stakeholders, the beneficiaries of these projects, must manage their affairs. That was the debate we had in the cabinet. When people were saying, no, we should continue with the army, I said, no. These people must learn how to manage their affairs. They are not children. We can help them to manage their affairs. Hence, the need for the stakeholders, farmers, artisans, to form the circles in the parish or at the constituency for the Myoga. This is the correct ultimate solution. I've started touring and inspecting the 18 zones of Uganda. The 18 zones of Uganda are Masaka, Mengo, what they used to call Mengo, the districts of Mukono, Ruero, and all that, Pigi, Muvende, Ankole, Kigezi, Toro, Bunyoro, Busoga, Bukedi, Teso, Sebei, Karamoja, Lango, Acholi, West Nile, and Madi. I started with Acholi between the 23rd and the 24th of February 2023. Straight away, the Wananchi told me of the parasites that were like flies swarming around the PDM and the Myogamani. I will decisively follow up the attempted stealing of the PDM and the Myoga money in Acholi, and if they tampered with the money, they will pay for that treachery. They will be an example to the rest of the potential flies. $10,594 PDM circles are to be formed. As of now, 9,538 circles, 90% of the target, have been formed. That's what the Secretariat told us. But I have read the report of the Parliament. The Speaker sent me the report. There are many observations there that point out the weaknesses. Meanwhile, I myself, in Acholi, I heard from the wananchi a number of bad actions. There is this group in the town, one of the wards, where somebody called commercial officer called a meeting secretary of a few people to form leadership for the parish model, because they want to find a way of stealing the money. They didn't involve the whole parish. They didn't involve. And yet we say all people in the parish who want to engage in wealth creation should join the circle, as long as they are adults, 18 and above. That is the plan. All producers in the parish must join, must be told. If they don't want to join it, that's up to them, but they must be invited. Because like in this issue of Guru, somebody announced the meeting at 9 in the morning, and the meeting happened at 2, and a few people created a leadership. That was one issue which I picked up, and of course I will follow it up. Then in Aswa, they were called, instead of going to the parish, they were called to the sub-county, so that people get tired and don't go. And when they were called to go to the sub-county, they were told, each parish bring 30-30. Who told you to bring? This is not indirect elections of 30-30. A parish circle is for all members, may be organized in their production groups. The ones of bananas, the ones of dairy, but all who want to engage in wealth creation must join. If there is anything that is not clear there, then at the right time, the Minister of Local Government, who has been heading this, should explain it. Then, in another area, I think it is Aswa again, they were told to pay some money for membership. Now, we are going to follow up all this. And this one I got direct from the people. So these thieves are not very clever, because if you steal, we shall come and find out. That's why when I went to Acholi first day, I visited some of these farms. And then I had a meeting with the leaders. And from the leaders, I was able to get a lot of information. and then the following day I was on a public meeting. So how will you steal? Because we are going to find out. You're wasting your time and ruining your future. So, but according to the figures of the Secretariat, they say 90% of the parishes have created the circles. How? Is it the good way or the correct way? We shall find out. Because I will go there and meet the people. And I encourage you to go and meet those people. We are sending shillings 100 million per parish per annum. Assuming each borrower takes shillings 1 million, that will account for 1 million households per annum. Again, this is another confusion. You don't know what the problem is. We talked about 1 million as an example. And the reason we talked about 1 million, we are using the example of coffee. This was last year, I think. To plant 1 acre of coffee, you need 450 seedlings. And we calculated, at that time the price was something which I don't remember, but to get 450 seedlings, we would spend 180,000 shillings of the 1 million. So the borrower would remain with 820,000 to do other things. That's why we said 1 million. But these confused people, they go and tell people, you can't borrow unless you want to borrow 1 million. No, if I want to borrow 200,000, why should you stop me? Total confusion. Because they said 1 million, you must borrow 1 million. No, I don't want 1 million, I want 200,000. That's better for you, because that means you can lend more people. Why do you find that as a problem? This was also another issue. You must borrow 1 million. No, I don't want 1 million. I want 200,000. And that becomes an issue. I can't borrow. Why? Because I'm not borrowing 1 million. Then another group came and said, want to borrow more than 1 million. That we said, no. We cannot manage to. You can borrow 1 million here, you go and add on other money somewhere else. That was our answer, because some people wanted more money. And we said, if you want more money than that, then you are too big for our PDM. Go to UDB. You qualify for UDB. But here, we can only give you 1 million and you go and top up somewhere else. The circles that have been ready have been given shilling 25 million each. This money has been sent. Consequently, shillings 238.45 billion has been sent directly from the Treasury to the bank accounts of the circles. Thank you so much for doing that. Even if the money is sitting there, let it sit there until the circles are ready. Much of the money is still on the accounts. According to the Treasury, another shilling 476.9 billion is at the Treasury waiting to be sent once the original portion has been utilized. By June 2023, shillings 1,059 billion, that is 1 trillion, will be sent. Last financial year, shillings 131.4 billion was released. And I'm glad I read the report of the MPs, which the Speaker sent me. This 131 billion is not properly accounted for, because each parish was supposed to get 17 million. But according to what the Speaker sent me, some got 7, some got 10. So where did the other money go? But don't worry, Uganda is here. We shall get you. Don't worry. I don't know why you people you worry. That's why you develop blood pressure. The money was sent. Pesa tie kwene. Gente tie kwene. We say in our language. Esente zilirudawa. Esente zajja. Obukadde 17. Where is the money? Very simple. These are just I'm very proud that the NRM has promised and sent the money. Those who eat that money is toxic. They will get problems from it. With the Myoga, shillings 100 billion has been sent each year. Hence, 200 billion in the last 2 financial years. The issue I see is for you to answer the following question. Who are the Wasosodoti for socio-economic transformation? Because you see, when I read the report of the MPs, they were talking, there is somebody called focal person at the district, all those people, commercial officer, I don't know what. But the question is, who are the Wasosodoti of the principle of socio-economic transformation? Bani awakiririza socio-economic transformation. Who are those who believe and who should push? You should answer that question, and I will try to give you some hints. Is this the members of parliament, the LC5 chairperson, etc., or is this the chief administrative officer, the commercial officer, etc.? Can we use the cattle corridor experience for reference? Because I am here, I'm not dead. I am here. If I was dead, you would say there was the late so and so. No. T.E.K. I am here. I'm not a story, I'm not a fiction. I am here as a Msosodoti, as a priest of preaching socio-economic transformation among illiterate people. So I no longer want to be polite, because normally I'm polite, no, please. Politeness can also damage things. So, can we use the cattle corridor experience for reference? Who authored and preached the gospel of socio-economic transformation in the cattle corridor. Because remember, in the cattle corridor, there were two jobs: to think of a solution, and then preach it. Here we are not disturbing you with authoring, even if you don't author, but preach. Preach. Who authored and preached the gospel of socio-economic transformation in the cattle corridor? Was this the district commissioner? Because the districts were there. District commissioner, the Saza chiefs, the Gombora chief. No, it was people of conviction, of mission, that authored and preached the gospel, Injili, of socio-economic transformation. They were not paid, they had no appointment, but they wanted their parents and people to get the mushana, ekitangara, the light of knowledge of socio-economic transformation, so that they become prosperous. Similarly with PDM and Myoga, it must be the political people that must be the vasosodoti of the Injili of socio-economic transformation, because they are the ones that volunteered to be elected for leadership. Because you volunteered, you say, I want to lead you. Now, if you volunteered and you are lucky to be elected now, do it now. Lead. Lutera. Now, instead of leading of Lutera, some people try to do Yitiyeyo. Yitiyeyo, the carrying. What is it carrying on your head? Yeyo. Yeah? Whatever it is. Bakulonda okukulembera abantu sikubetika. You are elected to lead people, not to carry them. And you lead by preaching. And don't tell me about money, because I'm here. I led people without money. I'm here. I led them to fight, not to eat matoke. I said, let's go and fight and die, but for a good cause. And they listened to me. Leading is not money. Don't bring up issues of money. Leadership from where and to where? Leadership from tradition in poverty to prosperity. It is good for the civil servants to associate with this forward movement. When we were mobilizing, sometimes some of the civil servants would be positive. But even if they were not positive for us, we would go ahead. However, if they do not, the change makers can force them to implement even what they do not like or what they do not understand. Therefore, in my view, if the money is not used this year in the right way, let us keep it. Let us not panic. The issue is not spend the money. The issue is spend the money correctly. If they are not ready, let's keep it. Let's keep it. Not divert it, keep it. so that the fund builds up. Because remember, this money is really a nucleus for the parish bank. This year, we are bringing 100 million. Next year, another 100 million. Next year, about another, in 4 years, 400 million. And if they want, members of the circle, once they are convinced, they can start saving and adding on, so that it becomes a big bank for them. So don't talk of taking it back. No. Keep it aside until they are ready to use it. Because once they learn how to use it, even you as leaders, you will have less problems. Because you will be able to tell them that there is your money there. You go and use your money. Because the money is there. The people need patient sensitization and not bureaucratic kwehenenga. Kwehenenga, you remember the story in the Bible when Jesus visited two sisters, Mary and the other one. I know them in Nyankore. Marza. Mariamuna Marza. The other one was Okwehenenga. Busy cooking, dishing, what. Mariam was sitting, listening to the word of Jesus. And Jesus said, this one is blessed. Because she has been here listening to the message. This one has been just cooking, washing plates, running up and down, but no value addition. When you are cooking and washing plates, what value addition are you adding on? But Mariam was adding value to herself by listening to the message of Jesus. It is in the Bible. I'm not the one who wrote it. So we don't want these people who are running up and down doing nothing. No. Let's take time and convince these people. And by the way, you should be very careful, because some years I went to Kasese, to Mobuku irrigation scheme. I found there a man called Mudusu. I think he must be still there, growing mangoes. And he said, I did this when I heard your speech, my speech, on the radio. He told me, Mudusu. I went to Rengaju. Our man there, the man of Rengaju, he told me, we heard what you are saying. Now, recently I was in Paicho, and the man there I visited with his wife, he told me, I heard what you are saying on the radio. Imagine Museveni from Kampala. These people in Paicho heard me. And the one of Kasese heard me. You can go and check with them. Did you hear Museveni? And did you do what you heard him doing? Now, if they can hear me from who is so far away, how about people who are near? So we are the ones to cause socio-economic transformation. This is principle number 3 of the NRM principles. Socio-economic transformation. you, the members of parliament, should take more time with the people. Don't go and just lecture. Sindio. The man is talking to himself. Siwekitio. No. Talk and let them also talk to you. And then you see what is, try to discern what is holding them back. And don't buy food and all those things. If they don't want to come, let them not come. You tell them that I don't have money to buy food and all that because you are not a hotel. They are laughing at me. They think I'm an idiot. Awo musoga wa kobera ntono musada taidi charu kukoba nchidi the people go to church that the reverend feed them. It is because you have misled them. In the United States, because I hear many people like United States, if you want to be president in the United States, you declare, you say, I want to be president, and this is what I want to do. And then people who believe in what you are saying fund you. They contribute. If they don't bring enough funds, you leave it. You say, I have not got enough funders. These are the democracies you admire. But here, you have turned it upside down, and it's not correct. I will also be involved because I am going to tour all the zones. I will be touring 2 zones per month. And I'm sure some people will listen to what I'm saying because they have done it before. I have succeeded in the cattle corridor with the dairy. I have succeeded in Iksozi area with the 4 acres model or less. We have succeeded in Ruengaju, Nyakana. Nyakana is our active person there. We have succeeded there. We have succeeded in Masaka. Masaka, there is a little bit of some progress with coffee. Even Ibanda, there was some progress with coffee. In Karangara with palm oil. In Ubundubujo with cocoa and coffee and vanilla, although vanilla is very erratic. So we can succeed. On this occasion, so please, now don't start talking of changing modes. Don't talk about changing modes. This is their money. We must insist on that mudukanye ekibiina kyamwe kya SACCO operate. Now somebody wrote to me about the Boli troops. Boli troops are the groups in the H.E.Y area, local village-based saving groups, which are good. But Boli troops, because you see our Polish PDM is to link our people with the national market, the East African market, the African market, and the international market. Because in that way, you anchor them. They are producing what is demanded on a big scale. Now with the Boli troop, they do what they want. Sometimes they do Marukwang, they do Kwete. They are making money in their small way, but this is not what we are talking about. We can later on support them separately, but this is different. It is linked with the national, regional, and international markets. That's why we are selecting a few activities which we are sure of their demand. Some people are bringing new ideas, macadamia, this other one, cashew nuts, the other one, what do they call the other one? The one with the big seed, avocado. Okay, we shall do the chura for those. We shall do the chibaro. If we are sure about their linkage. Because like the milk, which I advised the cattle corridor to go into, I was sure it was in big demand, internally, regionally, internationally. And the other day when I went to Algeria, the Algerians, they can't believe. They saw this is the best milk they have ever seen. According to what, because they sent a group here to go on, they took samples, took to their lab. So there's no way this milk will okudiba. If we had problems with our neighbors who are not to do that, then there is the bigger market far away. Even Nigeria is buying a lot of milk. And we're selling milk to Syria, to also all those countries. So the PDM is first of all how to make money, good money on a small area in a product or products that have got a national, regional, and sometimes international demand. So don't mix it up with the Buru chop, with the H.E.Y.K, with what? In Ankara they have got what they call H.E.Y.K. You bury yourselves. Now, for the barrios, that's a different operation. So please, stop okumagamaga, looking this way, that way. No. This is the final position. PDM must work. The Myoga must work. The Kumagamaga looking this way, please. Because now, because in the past they were blaming NADS. Aba NADS, Bega Veraboka. Okay, we brought army. Now the army, Bega Veraboka, okay. If you Bega Veraboka, now you do it yourselves. Here is the money. It is low interest money. It is yours. Here is the money. And next year, I'll bring in more money. Now, I watched some TV groups, some of these youth on some of the stages. We hear about PDM, but we don't see it. You go and look for it. They are there talking. We hear about PDM, but we don't see it. Yes, it is your fault. You have heard that you are Mugabo, because this is a Mugabo for these people. Your share is at the parish. Go there and check. That's nonsense. You should be told, you go and check. And check with your member of parliament. Of course, the member of parliament is father. The parish is in Yara. But the member of parliament is to fight for you in case there is a problem. Not to get money from him. I am going to come here and we discuss the issue of donation. That donation, the culture of donation is very dangerous. That culture of donating, giving is very dangerous. We shall get time for that. On this occasion, I have not talked about the sectors of wealth creation. The other sectors of wealth creation. These are industries, services, and ICT. We shall have time for that. The only point is simply to state that the PDM will deal with commercial agriculture by producing raw materials. It is not to forget raw materials from minerals, from forest products, from fisheries. By adding value to these raw materials, the value of the product goes up by a factor of more than 10 or more. Take coffee, for instance. The Coffee Consortium of Uganda has again reaffirmed what we knew in the bush. A kilogram of bean coffee gives us US dollars 2.5. A kilogram of roasted and ground coffee gives us $50. To get a kilogram of roasted and ground coffee, you need 2.5 kilograms of bean coffee. So imagine, here we are getting $2 per kilo for coffee, but when they grind, a kilo of ground coffee is $50. And to get a kilo of roasted coffee and ground, you need 2.5 of the other one. So you can say that for what we get 2.5, somebody gets something like $20. I will come back, we shall meet in the caucus of the NRM and discuss this slavery. What is true of coffee is true of all the other raw materials in varying degrees, whether they are agricultural, minerals, forests, or freshwater resources. You now see how the present economy of $49 billion can jump by a factor of 10 to $500 billion in a very few years. Therefore, today, I didn't want to touch many things. I simply wanted to reaffirm our stand on the PDM and on the Myoga. Don't worry. Anybody who messes up, we shall mess him up also. And we shall educate our people until they understand. And politically, even those who are looking for politics, this is very good, because now the money is there. Yes, some people are confusing our people, but that confusion will be sorted out. Let's maintain the course. On the issue of homosexuals, H.E.Y. We shall get time and discuss the matter thoroughly. The homosexuals are deviations from normal. Why? Is it by nature or by nurture? We need to answer those questions. This deviant, is he deviant by nature or by nurture? We need a medical opinion on that. We shall discuss it thoroughly. The Western countries should stop wasting the time of humanity by trying to impose their practices on other peoples. Europeans and other groups marry cousins and near relatives. Here, to marry within the clan is taboo, zero. Should we impose sanctions on them for marrying relatives? So we should put sanctions on people who are marrying their cousins in other parts of the world. This is not our job. If they are marrying their cousins, that's their problem. Sex in Uganda and maybe in other parts of Africa is confidential. Even heterosexuality, even the heterosexuals, they do it confidentially. How do we come to know that you are a homosexual unless you publicize it? We shall discuss all this. With these few words, I thank Parliament for allowing me to come. And say a few words to you. If there are some other issues, convey them confidentially so that I can understand them well.
Adjournment.
Honorable members of Parliament,
I want to thank you for listening to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. Your Excellency, with humility, we want to thank you for honoring our invitation and also fulfilling your constitutional obligation as per Article 1012 of the Constitution. You're always welcome to Parliament of Uganda, and we remain working for the good of humanity in this country. I want to thank you
much, and thank you, Mama, for accompanying the President. Honorable members, we now adjourn the House to Tuesday, 21st March 2023 at 2.